few seconds. Testing one. I think we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for our patience. We are officially back to, well, where we were before, hopefully. You could all see the screen. We haven't blown up.
Nasty little bit of technology
Yeah,
backfiring on me a little bit.
it happens, computers break down, and cars crash into each other. What are you going to do? But hey, we're back. And we were, geez, what the hell were we talking about? I couldn't, something about the placenta. I don't remember some aspect of the female anatomy and
Well,
Ray's.
the ray going into a tree means birth.
Right. Okay. That's a good summary. I think that's as far as I want to take it. Okay.
The answer is inside of her. After an emotional exchange with Kylo Ren, Rey goes to the other place on the island that has been calling to her. This is a place of darkness.
Was the tree really calling to Ray? I don't think so.
In this new universe, we have lightsabers who call to people, but it never called to Ray overtly. At
Yeah,
least
I don't.
the lightsaber, as dumb as it was, actually called to her overtly.
I don't recall the tree ever calling to Ray. I remember this because even Luke mentioned, "Hey, it was calling to you. You just went without regard. You went straight for it." So at least the narrative is telling us that this happened, but the tree, no, I don't remember that at all. So we're gonna have to knock some points off there, Miss Witten-Foley. But okay,
And so she was in Witten Foley said this tree part was the descent to the goddess. So where we're heading towards should be the yearning to connect with the feminine.
really through the dark side. Wow, that's interesting.
Apparently so. And she said the dark side was masculine. So earlier in the video, so
Uh,
we'll see where this goes. We'll see where
yeah,
this goes.
I'm already confused, but that's an understatement. Okay.
It symbolizes the birth canal.
What? So wait a
Okay,
second. The
okay, I'm
tree
lost.
was what was the tree then? Was it also
The
a birth
trees.
canal?
She was a symbol of birth because it was the entrance like a symbolized a female organ, and
So
this is the birth canal.
so it's just an orifice, but this is the actual canal. Really? Okay. I didn't know that. When I looked at this, I thought of an anus
Yeah,
because
so did I. This is
because
exactly what it looks like.
of the shape of the whatever those tendrils are. I wasn't thinking, hey, this is the other hole. Honestly, this is what I thought. So okay, again, we see things differently. The heroine's journey eyeglasses sees this as a female organ.
So this is the birth canal. So this is supposed to be leading us to the reconnect. I yearn to reconnect with the feminine.
Yeah, not the vagina. Remember, we already saw that. So this is not the vagina.
Yeah.
This is the birth canal. So
Right.
very specific, right? Gotta keep up here, guys.
Going here explicitly to ask of her parents, Rey falls through it and into the water. Here, Rey is returning to the womb. This place is water and darkness. It is also the past.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the heroine's journey. There's no like rebirth and womb or something. This is a descent to the goddess,
Yeah,
which means she's supposed to be.
I'm quite sure Miss Murdoch, who wrote this, was not thinking, hey, you know what we really need to have? Symbolism about female organs. I'm quite sure that has nothing to do with patterns in story. I'm pretty sure. I think even
Because
Freud would be like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
so before this, right, there's supposed to be feelings of spiritual aridity, which means she's trying to, I guess, trying to find her spiritual awakening, and then she goes into the descent to the goddess. With I guess she's supposed to be traveling the spiritual road to the goddess because the gods are linked to spirituality, and then I guess are we still in the descent? I suppose because she just descended, but she said the tree represented descent. So I don't know. Is there two descents? I'm not sure where she's exactly going with this, but I just know that the overt symbolism of like all these quote unquote female that she's trying to give, like the birth canal and rebirth and all that stuff, isn't it's not really important to the hero's journey at this point.
Right. And again, we do the flip side, and we have to compare this to the male aspect. Can you imagine trying to relate this to the male organs? You know how ridiculous that would seem? Well, this is the vas deferens, and this is the testicles, and like what are you talking about, you lunatic? What is this? Like, no one would think this way. Or no, not only that, they wouldn't be able to even possibly think that way because there's no connection to that on screen.
I think she should have saved the descent part for this because if we were to play devil's advocate here and argue for on her side, this would be a better fit to symbolize the descent. But she's kind of busy symbolizing female organs and stuff, and rebirth and birth and all that stuff. So, which is not actually overtly a part of the heroine's journey, because this is supposed to be the descent to the goddess. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, this whole symbolism crap is just her interpretation, which again I bet has nothing to do with the supposed heroine's journey.
As far as I've seen at this point, anyway, it has nothing to do with it.
And if she thinks this is part of it, then this has a lot to do with third wave feminism than what she said it does not. Because only a feminist would make these ridiculous connections, which my brain is just like, I can't believe this is serious. Like, this is like the vagina monologues, but with symbolism.
Symbolism.
In frickin' Star Wars, a story about space wizards intended for children, right?
Oh yeah, it was intended for children. Remember, this is space wizards and intended for children, but it has, vaginas and anuses and birth canals and stuff.
The cave gives Rey an answer that brings her to her lowest emotional point. She has to rely on herself. She has had parents, but they don't matter.
Okay, so what about the womb? The womb was just symbolic and that's it?
You just said, okay, here's the womb. Okay, on to other stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
Here's
a rock. Canal. It symbolizes a rock. Okay, next.
Okay. The better description would be that this is the descent to the goddess, and this is her, which means that she is here at this moment in the movie.
Yeah.
This is where she's supposed to be having her spiritual connection and reawakening.
Yeah, see, you're doing a better job explaining the heroine's journey than she is. She's not even referencing the heroine's journey anymore.
But no, this is a birth canal, and she's at her lowest emotional point. That isn't. I don't care. Okay, you're trying to explain to me the heroine's journey and how Rey is going on it, and none of this has to do with any of that.
This is the LSD journey. This is not the heroine's journey. This is. I see the female anatomy in the cave. And you fall. And it's like, whoa.
Like, did we just skip over the yearning to connect with the feminine, and we're now at the healing the mother and daughter split?
Yeah.
You don't even meet her parents. We don't even meet them. They're kind of there.
We're told she sees them, but we never actually see it ourselves, which is like, why would you even bother have a movie if you're not going to visually show us a vision, which they've done in previous movies, like with Luke, where he literally fights a vision of Darth Vader, and then we see his head as it's like, oh wow, we get it. It showed us. This is like, I saw my parents. They were nobody. You're like, really? We didn't see them.
And that's the big mistake of this video, is that she's not explaining where we are. Last time she mentioned any terminology, any coming anywhere near related to the heroine's journey was when she was going towards a tree, and she said this is where her descent begins. Ever since then, we haven't gone back to the heroine's journey at all. It's all been about birth canals and stuff.
When you use, as I said before, there's three elements of symbolism. If you don't make those connections, if you do not constantly repeat them and make them clear to the audience what the symbol does, and then you show the effect of the symbol, there's no way the audience can make this connection. And when you start changing your symbols, like, oh, this represents this, now this is this, and this, you're like, whoa, slow down here.
You need to be consistent. That's some consistency here.
This is the elbow of the woman, and this is the kneecap, and this is the pelvic bone. And you could tell because it's wider than a man's. You're like, what the heroine's journey.
The other image looks to be Kylo Ren, but it's not explicit to Rey. She weeps at the foot of her reflection. She then speaks to the only person she knows is as lonely as she. Ben Solo.
She knows that Ben is lonely? Really?
She Skypes Ben and they talk.
Ben's got like an army around him. Is he lonely?
I mean, he isn't like an emo sense. No one understands me.
I talk to you, Rey. I'm so lonely, but I'm not going to tell you.
My dad's a jerk.
I killed him, okay? Thanks, Kyle. You're so consistent. We love you as a character.
To penetrate his dad with a phallic symbol
Oh
and killed
God.
him.
Here we go. It's too masculine.
Because I guess we're still in the descent to the goddess. Because she
I
hasn't she hasn't
guess.
she hasn't mentioned the next step yet. Any of the next steps.
I was lost about 4 minutes ago, so I just, just like what crazy ride are we on now?
When they touch hands across the universe, Ray sees his future. This is Ray's answer. This is what she's been searching for.
She's what? She's searching for Kylo? Really? Why? What? She wants to belong to the guy she hates?
Why though?
Okay. How does this connect to whatever the previous scene with trying to find her parents was like? What? Oh,
So we're still in the descent as far as I know.
I guess
Descent
she's
to the
the
goddess.
lowest point in the story, right? So she's this is how if we use dramatic structure to say this is the lowest point in the story. So all the emotions and all the despair, all the plots that have been attempted have failed, or they couldn't surpass a hurdle, or whatever the conflict was. Boom, you're at the lowest point. You're like, all right, and now she's found, which is how did this, I'm quite sure that's not how that works. I'm quite sure once you get to the bottom, someone has to pull you up, or you stay there. Kylo is just sitting there going, "Hey,
What's going
baby.
on?
Hey, baby, what's going on, baby?"
They're just Skyping with each other because they're both. I guess they're both really lonely. To put it in hero's journey terms, I think she's in the abyss right now. This is the abyss.
That would be the one that we could understand, right? The hero's journey.
If you put her journey into the hero's journey, she'd be in the abyss. But in the heroine's journey, it's just called the descent to the goddess.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but this one is more pretentious.
That's what makes it symbolic, right? Yeah.
During this descent,
Whoa. Finding the boon. Okay. What was the boon she found?
The stick she's had the whole time.
No, it's got to be something. It's got to be like not the lightsaber. The books, maybe? No, she hasn't found the books yet.
What
Like,
success?
She saw the books, but she didn't use them.
The success. She, if anything, was a success. It was coming in, sitting down, and cracking the earth into. Is that her boon of success?
I guess, but even that, she had no idea what she was doing. And then Luke just got scared of her, and that was the end of that. So it was like this 30-second training period. Suddenly, she knows the Force. Like, no. Awakening to feelings of spiritual aridity, death. I guess that's when she went down and felt the dark side mirror thing. I guess.
Yeah, that was a birth canal, and
Okay.
that was a letter to the descent. That I don't know why there's birth canal symbolism being brought in at all. That to me, just say that's the descent of the goddess. That would be your descent, not really the tree so much, but the falling into that little, I don't know, anus thing. That was the descent to the goddess, and then that is where she goes into her spiritual journey, because that's what this, as far as I know, that's what the descent of the goddess means.
So
A spiritual journey, a spiritual awakening.
okay, I think that's as good as we're going to get. So the urgent yearning to reconnect with the feminine, where
Is
does
next.
that come from?
Yeah, okay, so I guess she's going to explain this to us because I have no idea
Because
where that fits here.
trying to have like hand Skype relationship with Kylo is not reconnecting with the feminine. That's
Yeah, I mean, men like to date women. Is that him reconnecting with the masculine?
yeah, just woo.
So is Kylo reconnecting with the masculine when he's also talking to her over Skype, for Skype?
I guess it's remember the protagonist and the antagonist in a good story would have a similar hero's journey, but she didn't even bring up Kylo to that regard. It's all feminine, right? Can't have anything related to a man having female sensibilities or emotions or feelings of encouragement or support or reassurance or motherly or any kind of love. No, it's all the hero, all the
Yeah, it's
female.
all here.
Yeah. Can't do
So
anything
yeah,
with the antagonist.
next step should be yearning to connect with the feminine.
Right.
Unless we skip over it.
Where she nearly kills a nun, I guess. Fish nun, right?
the heroine has to face a variety of things in order to come to terms with her inner self. The most notable, though not all are essential, are fear, guilt, shame, grief, lies, illusion, and attachment.
Okay, you listed a whole bunch of things.
Terms, yes. Which one of those are feminine?
And how does that relate to Ray?
Because I could see her coming into terms with herself, but it's supposed to be her a yearning. Like she has to at this point desire to reconnect with the feminine, the femininity that she tossed off at the beginning of this journey. So where does that fit in? What part of all these terms?
Yeah, like pick one and we'll go with it. It's like you can't just list them. Oh, this is what's happening. It's like, no, which one? How? Show us.
On Octo, Ray has faced shame for her femininity.
No, she hasn't. She looked at an alien and she went, "This is weird," and then she looked away. That's all
And
she did.
she looked at something gross and thought it was gross.
That's as deep as it gets. Okay, that's all that happened. I'm sorry. There's no freaking sexuality from an alien lactating sea moose.
At this point in the hero's journey, she's supposed to be going through her metamorphosis.
I hope so, because this just makes no sense. So if it,
Hero's journey term, she's going through a metamorphosis. Heroine's journey term, she's yearning to connect with the feminine.
that is being very generous to this movie. So
Oh, more than generous. But if we were to equate these scenes to the hero's journey, she'd be going through her metamorphosis. But in heroine's journey term, she's yearning to reconnect with the feminine, otherwise known as a metamorphosis.
that sounds good, but I wish I wish it was there in a movie that would have been good.
Yeah, the movie that would have been good. This is what probably would have happened.
Yeah.
Fear of being alone, grief for realizing she is alone,
What?
Are those feminine traits? I thought those were like more like character traits. Like, characters can have a yearning of feeling alone. They have a feeling of being alone. They can have a yearning to connect with others. It's kind of a character trait. I mean, we were supposed to go with specifically feminine because it's a specifically feminine journey.
And if she's alone, why can't she go talk to Luke and bug Luke or bug Chewie or bug the nuns or bug it? Like, just like she's not alone. She can go talk to like, oh, I don't get what's going on. And then Chewie tells her a story. Oh, yeah, I used to know Luke and he was cool. It's like, oh, really? Go talk to Luke, man. I need your help. Okay. And Chewie breaks down the door and kicks Luke's ass because Luke's a pussy. And
Yeah.
and boom. Problem solved. No, don't get the side characters involved. That are the whole point of side characters are to support or help or hinder the heroes. No. Or the crazy magical porgs who could just, fly around and do stuff. Or the fish nuns who it is their duty to look after the Jedi in their temple. They'd have nothing. They have no idea about the Force at all. No, they've just been doing it all their lives. No, they have no insight at all. They're just a bunch of Muppets that walk around. No, she's totally alone. She has no idea what's going on. She's like, this is. It's just this awkward. Like, yeah, I guess she's feeling guilty of being alone, but she's not actually alone.
Exactly. Not really alone.
No, she could think she is, but it's not. It's not obvious, at least to the audience.
Unless we're talking about the same kind of alone Kylo is, where he's kind of like an emo.
Right.
Sort
If
of
it's
alone.
this interpretive, no one understands me. Okay, yeah, I can see it with Kylo because he's weird like that. But
Yeah,
Rey is
but
just a nothing. You're
Rey,
just sitting there.
Rey
going,
literally has Luke Skywalker to go talk to. If he doesn't, even if he has cast off the Force and is no longer a Jedi, he knows something that she can connect with.
It's just this weird interpretation. She knows she's alone. It's like, okay, you think she's alone, but she's really not.
Luke Skywalker was a chosen one too. They kind of have that in common.
Yeah, and Luke wants to be alone, and she doesn't. So, great conflict if it was actually pursued. I mean, she knocks on his door once, and then Chewie breaks it down. It's like, oh, okay, great. Problem solved. It's like, okay, you're no longer alone. Go talk to him. Go annoy him. He's the annoying curmudgeon.
All I know is at this point in the movie, according to what their interpretation is, I believe this part we're supposed to be coming out of the descent, and she's trying to, I don't know, somehow maneuver us into yearning to connect with the feminine. But she's going to like, oh, I guess she's thinking that all female heroes go through a sense of loneliness and needing to belong, which is kind of more specific to Rey.
That's a hell of a weird interpretation of what a journey is. By was it 2 days on a island?
Yeah, like I said, it's very specific. It's very specific in these terms.
Yeah.
So what we need is a more general connection to the
Right.
to the feminine. So
We
what kind of feminine traits is he yearning to reconnect with?
right. So
What did
she would say
in fact, what did she cast off in the first place?
right. If she were to say, I don't have a sense of belonging, I don't feel like I belong because I have no brothers or sisters, I have no family. I
Yeah.
want to be a family. I want to be a mother. I want to be a sister. Blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, that is definitely a feminine desire. Sure.
Hmm.
So if she said something like that, we go, oh, okay, she wants to
Yeah.
have a bunch of girlfriends or a sister or a mother. Great. You notice how we haven't talked about Leia at all? That this is all an order from Leia and that she
Yeah.
wants to belong to the rebels and it's through Leia that she has this connection, but nothing, which to me sounds pretty obvious. I mean, Leia is kind of the mother hen of everyone else, the general.
And they turned her into a Mother Hen kind of character in,
Yeah,
in the Disney Star Wars. Yeah.
that would be obvious, but she didn't even bring that up. She's talking about symbolism of doorways and like what?
Oh, symbolism is safe. It's because it's up to interpretation.
Oh God.
Guilt for not succeeding in bringing back Luke, the lie that she has been telling herself for years about her parents.
The lie.
Okay, which one of these are feminine? These are all human traits. Men can feel these too. Men can lie to themselves. Men can fail. Which one of these things are specifically feminine?
And wasn't that problem resolved in the last movie of her realizing her parents aren't coming back? Wasn't that the whole point of the call to action where she says, no, I'm not going to go. And it's like, she goes
Okay, I'll go.
anyway. And then
Yeah.
Maz is like, yeah, they're not coming. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, wow, great conflict there.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just go off on this journey
I
then.
guess I'll go talk to this lightsaber. Oh,
Very good conversationalist that lightsaber is.
The illusion of her parents being out there and caring about her, and the negative attachment to her childlike self that she is unwilling to let go of.
she has a childlike self.
Let
Okay,
go.
I guess.
Okay, what does this have to do with the journey? Because this is supposed to be a video about Rey and the heroine's journey, and we kind of got bogged down on the descent, and we're kind of climbing our way up to the yearning to reconnect with the feminine. But we're not going there. We kind of got sidetracked by, I don't know, vaginal orifices and
Right.
puberty and stuff. So I don't know where we actually are. Is this supposed to be an explanation of the yearning to reconnect with the feminine, or are we skipping over that step? Because we can do that. It's not exactly, you don't have to, it's like you don't have to do all the parts of the hero's journey. I would imagine you don't have to actually do all the parts of the heroine's journey.
No, exactly. So we have to see what part of this journey it is and how it's obvious and clear that if we don't see it this way, we won't understand Rey. And just because a pattern, let's say it is a known pattern, even though it isn't, let's say a pattern is obvious, like, okay, is that a good way of understanding Rey? And I would say not so much because, first off, it's not very logical. It's not like identifying with Rey as a character because there's not much to her character for us to identify with aside from
Right.
she doesn't know her parents, she feels bad she doesn't know her parents, and she's feeling guilty for wasting all this time that she was lying to herself about waiting for her parents. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe she's doing that, but it's not so much clear that that's what's happening here. She's just sort of walking around going, what do I do?
Basically, she doesn't have any determination. She's just wandering from one place to another, being
Yeah.
swept into one instance. And I'm not even sure she wanted to go see Luke. She's just like BB-8, and then it's kind of like going to go see Luke kind of became something she kind of had to do because the script told her to do so.
Yeah, and then she just forgets about it as if, oh, I don't need Luke, I'll just go get Kylo. And you're like, oh,
Yeah, let's go infiltrate one of the most protected ships in all of the First Order fleet by myself. Because I mean, that's no problem. I'm Mary Sue. What are they going to do? Stop me?
right. So that would be like the seduction of the Temptress, where she accepts the seduction and says, okay, I'm going to go ahead with this because she has no other options. And you're like, okay, fine. Maybe she was forced into it, even though she didn't really do much with Luke in the first place. So It depends on how you interpret that, but you're using a guidebook, which is like the opposite. Like the writer uses the guidebook to make sure things are making sense, and that the inciting incident, you should move that around. That should be at the front. Like it should be. It shouldn't be at the last. It shouldn't be after the climax. That makes no sense, right? But the other components you can move around a bit. So you use it as a reference. You don't go backwards and say, this finished product, let's apply Joseph Campbell's. It's like, I guess you could try that if you didn't understand something, but it doesn't really line up. Even using the hero's journey with The Last Jedi doesn't line up well. There's really no revelation. There's really no great plot twist. She just sort of goes through her steps and says, "Oh well, I'll go get Kylo now."
That's kind of why it was a terrible movie. She's not doing anything. I don't know her motivations because of Mr. Mystery Box, but it's just her going through the motions of a movie, of a protagonist's journey. There's no organic feel to it. She's doing things that she's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, there's really no payoff. Like we expected Luke to give us Luke Skywalker, and it's like some guy who just doesn't care anymore. And you're like, okay, maybe Rey is the right spark to get Luke off his ass. Nope. Doesn't do it. Maybe Kylo is. Oh, nope. Kylo's still a dick. Okay. It's just, thanks, Ryan. You gave us nothing.
He's pretty good at that.
Yes. Well, at least
it's the only thing. So one thing he's good at.
Yeah. Well, unless of course you understand the symbolism of
the
female
very subtle
body parts. Yeah.
She receives answers from both the light and the dark, but they are not ones that she understands, nor is she ready to.
What were the answers from the books when she walked into the tree? What were the answers? I have no idea.
I don't think she got answers when she got to the tree.
She was about to touch it, and then I think Luke walked in, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah, and stopped her. I don't think she got anything. It had symbolized knowledge, but she didn't get any knowledge from it.
Right.
She didn't even bump heads with Luke Skywalker or anything.
I wish that the tree was calling to her. No, it didn't. She got knowledge from the books by looking at them. No, she didn't. Like, I wish the author of the video actually could be a little more concrete, as opposed to just symbolic with everything. Because it's like, that didn't.
That can't be an argument, Ken. Did she say that? I must have missed it. Yeah. Did she say she gained knowledge from her looking at the books?
The idea of knowledge. Yes, books represent knowledge. We get it. Did they get it? No, she didn't get the knowledge. And then Yoda's like, she already had the knowledge. Oh, thanks, Yoda. And then she literally takes the books. It's like, that's what you meant. Really? Oh, okay.
Understand them. At the end of the descent, Rey lets go of a part of her masculine and literally reaches out to Ben with compassion.
What aspect of her psyche was masculine that she let go of? Can you please tell me? Which part? What was it? The boldness, the strength, the.
She's still pretty assertive. I mean, she's the one who initiates this connection. She's the one who holds out her hand. She's the one who's trying to bring in Ben Solo from the dark side.
Give me one masculine trait that she dropped. That's all you have to do, author, and we'll see where that takes us. But she just says, she let go of the masculine. It's like,
what?
Where?
What masculine?
Where was that?
Yeah, where?
When did that happen? Tell us. Give us a word. Give us an adjective that describes the masculine. Nope. It just happened. You missed it. It just happened. No symbolism. No actual reference. No feeling. You're watching the movie wrong. You're not doing it right.
In this moment, she begins to embrace her feminine.
No. Touching fingers does not make her feminine. What is... How is possibly reaching out to someone make her a female? What is she on about?
I don't know. All she's doing is holding out her hand. Maybe it's like a motherly connection.
Jeez, that's stretching it, man.
But because it's assertiveness, she's the one trying to bring him back. She's the one being assertive here. He's not.
Yeah. So are women docile and gentle and caring?
Because assertiveness is something that's considered masculine, a masculine trait.
Generally speaking, right. But
Yeah.
nothing stopping a female character from doing that. But if we're
No.
saying it's masculine, then this is not that.
But that's the only thing I can see. She was masculine. She's assertive. She. I think. In fact, that's the only one. That's the only masculine trait I could give to Ray because she has so few, and she doesn't drop that here.
Again, we need the exact reference and timestamp of the video where this happens because I don't see it.
I don't need to see what masculine traits she's dropping. I need to see what feminine traits he's yearning to reconnect to.
Yeah, and
'Cause that's
please,
part of the heroine's journey.
yeah, and if she says sexuality, I'll be like, oh, give me a break.
And when she sees a future with Ben, she does not look away in disgust. She immediately
She's afraid. She's terrified. She's looking at Ben like, oh my God.
Fear.
No,
What's going on?
She doesn't look away in disgust. Yeah, she's amazed. She's like, what the hell is happening?
It's kind of like something that just comes up. I guess I might as well bring him over to the light side, I guess.
She has no other options in her little brain because Luke won't go with her, and she can't think to knock him out and drag him along. She can't think of like, hey, Chewie, you walk around him, and I'll say something, and you beat him over the head, and then we'll drag him around. And they're like, we got you, Luke. Ha. Nope, didn't even think of that.
That's what they should have done, in fact. That's what they should have done.
Chewie, that's the first thing Chewie should have done. He just gets in there, grabs him by the waist, and just pulls him along. And Luke is like, trying to use the Force to like keep him from moving. And Chewie's like, you stupid old man. Let's go.
Oh, too good. Like he's Chewbacca, so it doesn't work.
He's Chewbacca. Tear his arms off. But no,
Quit being a baby, Luke, and come with us.
Ray can't think this through. He's like, oh no, I gotta touch Kylo and embrace my femininity. It's like, yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Sure.
goes to him. This brings us to the second part of the descent.
Oh, we're still in the descent.
Are we? So we're still in the descent.
I guess. Okay. There's two descents. I didn't know there was two descents in the heroine's journey.
Well, you might be surprised to learn this, but there isn't. There is no two descents.
Yeah.
There's only one.
So this
There's
is
only
her
one.
interpretation of the heroine's journey.
I know you can skip steps, but I didn't know you could copy and paste them.
So is this right after the first descent?
The descent is supposed to lead into specifically the yearning to reconnect with the feminine, which was what I thought she was trying to argue. Apparently not.
Okay. Well, I mean, there could be two climaxes to a story, so there could also be two ups and two downs. I mean, it's not impossible, but geez. Okay. She's inventing things as we go. I guess this is what you do when you read the heroine's journey. You just sort of go, well, you see, this part can be duplicated. This part can be removed. This one could be totally changed. I was like, okay, I guess that's how it works.
This is breathing space for our heroine. She has discovered a part of what she was searching for, but this won't last long. The throne room is our third symbolic place, specifically when Ben and Rey begin to fight the Praetorian Guard.
Okay, what do you think this symbolizes? Anyone?
Fighting.
Well, yeah, I hope so. But it's
Conflict.
It's conflict. It represents conflict. What's happening in the movie? Conflict. What does it represent? Fighting. No. Conflict.
Conflict
Wow.
and fighting. That's pretty masculine.
Well, if we're using this female interpretation, it's like, okay, this
So
represents.
this is part 3 to the descent. I can't believe we're still in the descent. When
Yeah.
did we start yearning to connect with the feminine?
I don't know.
Or hitting the mother-daughter split.
Yeah, now it's like the giving birth to whatever was created, or maybe the menstruation. Like there's all sort of ridiculous things you could talk about with the female anatomy. It's like, yeah, okay, this could be this. This could be this could be menopause for all we know.
Fighting off menopause.
With lightsabers. All the poorly choreographed guys in red are the red blood cells, and they're not getting to the hippocampus, and
fighting him off.
Yeah, to prevent that osteoporosis from setting in. So it's like, oh, you gotta stop those hormones, right? Sorry,
I
guys.
guess so. I guess so.
I'm making this shit up as we go.
The room itself is round.
Round. Uh-oh. You know what round represents? The sun. You know what sun is? It's the symbol of hope.
Which is apparently bad in this interpretation.
Hope is like the sun.
Another symbolic womb.
Another symbolic womb because it's round?
How
Really?
many wombs do we need? Wombs and stuff are not part of the heroine's journey, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
just because it's a room doesn't make it a womb, okay? I think everything this person... It's like
Not
this
everything's a womb.
room reminds me of the fallopian tubes, but really more like a... this part of it is... It's like, okay.
You stop being rebirthed, okay? You just got done being birthed. You don't get to go back and get birthed again in the same movie. That's ridiculous.
We could do symbolism with Hideki Anno, with Neon Genesis Evangelion, with the LCL fluid being amniotic and all this other thing. Because it works like the same thing, gives you nutrition, you can breathe through it, etc. But this is another womb and it represents insemination. I have no idea.
Just got out of a womb.
Yeah, stop it.
Okay, you only get one. You get one.
One womb per movie.
You get one womb per movie. Okay.
No, one womb per guide, this literary analysis guide or whatever.
And you don't get to just keep going in and out of wombs.
Yeah, this is another womb which represents the rebirth of Kylo and how
So when she steals the ship, is that another womb?
Oh boy.
But this one is red and catches fire.
Oh, the fire! See the fire on the words. The fire means
Maybe she should
fire.
have saved her womb comparison to this moment then, because that other one was wasted. I think. It's
Yeah,
just a tree.
Fire is like the pain of menstruation, and
Yeah, this would be better womb symbolism here.
yeah, I like this one. It's much more clear, and it's got fire, you could tell it because you could see the fire, and maybe it would be clear if there was like an arrow, like a neon red, says fire. Super clear. That'd be really clear. That'd be like, oh, it's fire.
Fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that would really clarify things, I bet.
This represents the first blood, intercourse,
Wow, we're first blood intercourse. We're getting really deep here. This is like meta symbolic because it's multiple layers of symbolism, right?
A little jab with a with a little force dagger.
Oh God, yeah, it's getting everything is like sexualized now. It's just like this sexual, woomy, bloody, violent.
Like, okay, can we get back to the heroine's journey?
Yeah.
What part of the heroine's journey is this? Is the symbolic womb like yearning? It's not a yearning. She's not yearning because it's not reconnecting with the feminine. It's yearning to reconnect with the feminine. So it has to be a character motivation, a character desire for the character of Rey to be yearning to reconnect with the feminine. What part is this? Where are we here? What part of this symbolic?
She's
second symbolic womb.
She's having a sexual awakening, guys. It's
sexual awakening. Fire signifies passion.
Fire is passion. Okay.
Okay, maybe the heroine's journey does not have anything to do with the feminist agenda, but this video certainly does.
She said that it doesn't have to do with feminism. Okay, but her interpretation is nothing but female body parts and sexuality in mooses, and now it's like 4 elements here. Fire is passion and sexual intercourse and first blood. It's just wow.
From the brilliant mind of Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson was really loading up the whoa.
He's loading up the symbolism here. He was so good at this. He put in 2 wombs.
No,
back
I put
to
in
back.
3 wombs. It was like the tree womb, then you got the dark side whatever womb, and then you had the
there was a womb, a birth canal, and then I guess the birth canal led right smack dab into a second
The
womb.
womb connects to another womb. And if you say it like you're part of a really silly like movie where you speak like this, you could say womb is really room, and it's every set piece is a womb because they all happen in rooms. Whoa, that's a bit meta, I think, right? Is that how you do meta, guys?
I suppose so.
Yeah. This chick is the Amy Schumer video essays. I don't know. I think you're giving Amy Schumer a lot of credit there.
So yes, this is the sexiest moment in any Star Wars movie.
This is the sexiest moment in any Star Wars
Any
movie.
Star Wars movie.
And this poorly choreographed scene of a bunch of incapable red shirts getting
Pretty sure a
slaughtered.
lot of people. I'm pretty sure everyone will disagree with you on this.
This is one of the worst choreographed fight scenes I've ever seen. It's a lot of explosions and spinning and just bad choreography. Okay? Kylo does not know how to wield his sword very well, or at least in the way that you would wield a hilted lightsaber. He does the reverse hilt too many times. I don't know why. I guess that's an Adam Driver thing. Rey is, I don't know how she survived this.
Are they twins then? Are Rey and Kylo twins because they're in the same womb together?
Oh God, that's too many. Oh God.
They brother and sister. Are going to do another Luke and Leia where they fall in love with each other,
Yeah,
but they're brother and sister.
I gotta stop crying. I'm not. I'm just like, oh, this hurting my brain. Oh, if she was on the chat, because I invited her to the chat, I would be sitting there every second of every word. It's like, okay, what do you mean by this? What are you talking about? How is this a womb again?
Okay, you get one again. You get one womb symbol per movie.
Yeah.
It's cheap going into like several wombs, 4 wombs in a row.
Can you imagine a male interpretation of this? Okay, this represents my giant throbbing member, and it's so big, it's like overpowering everyone.
I think after that description, you'd be done.
It'd be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But you give it to a woman, it's like, oh yeah, it's the womb, and it's passion and
spiritual
awakening. Like, whoa, okay, there.
I want to see this movie you're talking about.
Yeah, that would be like the psychedelic 70s, I guess, softcore porn. I don't know.
It itself represents sex.
This scene, in case you didn't know, guys, represents sex. It's the sexiest scene in all of Star Wars.
You would think a scene that represented sex would involve sex, but that would mean you're dumb. You don't understand symbolism correctly. You're not watching this movie right. Okay,
you're not applying reader response feminist theory, right? So in case you guys haven't, this is really like, you shouldn't take your kids to watch The Last Jedi because it's for kids, but it's not.
Yeah, remember, this is a movie for kids. Okay, it's a movie for kids about space wizards and stuff.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't take this too seriously.
But your super millennial kids might see this scene and go, "Oh, this is really about sex."
Obviously, it's very overtly about sex. Where they're fighting a room full of guys, that actually is a symbol. So when Kylo Ren is fighting off all these men, that's actually a gangbang.
It's a gay gangbang. Yes.
Okay, we could deal with that. That's fine.
Okay. Just so you guys know,
Kylo Ren's gay gangbang. That's what this represents.
That would answer a lot of questions we have about Kylo. But
I would prefer that, because that would mean he's gay and Raylo would no longer be a thing. So that'd be awesome.
And Kylo would be interested in her not for her feminine charms, but for her power. And they'd be like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
That makes sense.
It would eliminate one of those questions. There would only be a few answers left, right? Yeah, that would do it. Yeah. He wants her power, not her sex, right?
Okay. See that on the poster. Then the poster for the next movie.
Oh God. Where is he holding his lightsaber? Ooh.
It also depicts the present.
Yeah, because that's when you watch the film, and that's what's happening on the screen at that time. Right?
What's the special symbolism of representing the present? How is that special? Is it like uniquely symbolized
So the
here?
books represent the future, right? Somehow, the looking into Ray's past, I get. Okay, fine. I'll give them that. She wanted to find out her parents. Okay, but for some reason, this third womb, which also has fire and sex in it, is the sexiest Star Wars in the
It's also the
present.
present.
Because that's what the new trilogy is all. It's all about sex.
If you even want to go deep into the symbolism, and she doesn't point out this represents the present until Kylo Ren shoves a lightsaber through this guy's eye. So if you wanted to do symbolism, you could just paint it back to Odin giving up his eye for the knowledge of the future. So this would be a better symbolic
Ooh.
view of the future.
That would be interesting. The thing is, you can't just start mashing mythology just because Odin, it's like the Norse happened. Well, you see, when I was really stabbing this man's eye out, I was acquiring knowledge. Like,
I mean,
really?
this is dumb to begin with. I mean, this has nothing to do with anything. If you wanted to, playing devil's advocate, okay. So this would be a better symbol of the future, especially because you just came up from saying the womb and rebirth and everything. And rebirth is a promise of a future, a new, brighter future. And then this guy losing his eye could symbolize Odin getting up his eye for the future. So this doesn't represent the present to me. If you want to do what she's trying to do, this would be a better representation of the future, not the present.
Yeah. So this is really Hugin, and this is Munin, and this is knowledge and memory. It's like, oh wow.
Trying to tie this together and trying to make sense out of all this, but I don't.
You could have easily used Norse mythology and explained how this is the afterlife, and you're all fighting a war, and
Valhalla.
You're in Valhalla. It's never ending. The Force is always going to tell you what to do. Da 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 da. You're a
There's a problem with symbolism. You can do anything.
You can do anything.
You can do whatever you want.
That's the problem. That's why, unless the symbolism is repetitive and clear and has a function, like every time you see it, something's going to happen, it's useless. Which is exactly, and I don't know how we went from symbolism to slowly tying in the descent and the second descent. It was like, whoa. It makes no sense to me. Even with
two
her,
descents, two wombs. I think for every descent you have a womb attached to it.
Yeah, it's just this bizarre female gobbledygook, and there's a lot of psychobabble in Joseph Campbell, that's for sure. But he was using Jung and Freud and other examples to explain the concept of the shadow self and other elements of like the supporting characters and the villain and the antagonist, etc. This is like, oh, this is fire. Fire represents X. You're like, okay.
And even if you're right about all these symbols, how do they all fit together? Why put all these symbols together in the same room in the same
And they're all
scene?
different. Yeah, they're all like, this is a womb.
They're all so different, bizarre. Present, womb, sex, sexual intercourse for the first time. What does all this have to do with put together in the same scene?
Like, wouldn't the interpretation be like, well, the first womb was where she first had intercourse, so that represents, losing virginity or etc. Like you have to have it make sense some way. There has to be a connection from A to B. You can't just go F and Z and Y. And whoa!
Like this, but just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, see what sticks. That's what seems to be how they did symbolism here.
That's what she's saying. It's a pile of crap, and she's like, "Oh, look, this is red. It means passion. It's also fire, and passion is sexy." Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
No.
But maybe she has some. Maybe she ties this all together. Maybe she ties it all together somehow.
Yeah. Well, again, she's not here to ask questions with. So, whew.
At this moment, Ray and Ben are the balance in the Force.
No, they're not. They are not the balance. They're two guys
How?
trying to survive. That's all that's going on here.
So all this symbolism, also they're the balance of the Force. Fight. What? It's fighting what exactly?
A
They just
bunch of
killed Snoke.
yeah. There's no leader, and they're trying to get out of here. We're trying to kill all the witnesses. Really, it just so happened that no one survived and saw it. There's no cameras anywhere. There's
I
no
never thought of it like that. They're killing all the witnesses.
yeah. Essentially, it's like, oh, I committed a murder. Let's commit more murder. Okay. And Ray's like, I'm terrified. I'm going to help you. And Kylo's like, oh, I got to kill everyone now. Yeah, okay. Because she's the only one who knows.
That's a pretty good power play, actually. That's almost, you could say that's Shakespearean power play. If only this was in a
On
movie that was well written.
Kylo's, yeah, but
Kylo's on Kylo's part, because
you're
he actually has a character.
yeah, you're giving Kylo, I think, too much credit because
Oh yeah, I know I am.
he is just randomly doing shit every movie. It's like, what?
It just kind of happens. It's like kind of like with Rey. She kind of does things.
Yeah.
Things with Kylo just kind of happen.
Yeah, it's just this weird interpretation. It's like, oh, now they're the balance of the Force is like, really? Kylo's not too at this point, we're not too sure where Kylo's going, right? Rey is not a Jedi. She's not a Sith, but she's certainly not a Jedi. So they're kind of gray. They're two kind of gray people right now. Obviously with Kylo being more dark side. But it could go either way. We have no clue what's going to happen. There's no symbol to guide us in the right direction, to provide foreshadowing, or to provide insight into the character of Rey. Aside from saying this is a female organ and something's going to happen in it, okay, yeah, it's a room. Stuff happens in rooms. Wow, it's a fight scene. It's red. It's passion. It's sexy. Sure, of course. This is the strangest interpretation of the movie I've ever heard, by the way, guys. And we've heard a lot of weird ones.
Here, Rey allows the Force to begin to use her.
Really, the Force, she's allowing the Force to go to flow through her. Really, there's not one element of the Force she uses here that I could see. Not one. No Force powers, no insights, no feelings. She's just fighting. That's it. It could be anyone in this room with a lightsaber. It'd be the same thing.
After the struggle over the saber, the novelization details Rey's thoughts. Rey had learned that the Force was not her instrument, that, in fact, it was the other way around.
Is that fair? I don't know if that's fair. Going to the novel to explain something in the movie. Something essential, apparently.
So Rey learned that the Force was using her? When does that happen in the movie? What is... Who the hell is Jason Fry? Did he write the story? Like this, even if he did, who cares what he says after the fact?
The movie is already done. He should have done that in the movie.
The movie speaks for itself. There's not one instant, not one moment where Rey goes, do you know what? The Force is weird. I think the Force is really forcing me to do things I don't want to. And you'd be like, really? So
yeah, because if you've seen The Last Jedi, it looks to me like Rey is using the Force pretty well. She's the one wielding it.
She doesn't know how to use it, that's for sure. But amazing things happen. You could argue that maybe in the next movie, yeah, the Force is really just flowing through her and that she's just doing all this amazing crap.
But the Force force her to dominate that stormtrooper's mind to let her go? As the Force taking control?
Yeah, with zero training. Cheat codes.
Yeah. Well, it's either cheat codes or she's the DM's girlfriend.
Yeah, but this is such a weird statement to say that, hey, because someone else said this, therefore that's what's really happening. It's like, no, I'm sorry. That's not how storytelling works. You could put...
We need this in the movie.
You could say Apple Von Moron, the second Esquire, said something, therefore the movie. Like, no. What are you talking about? Rey didn't learn dick.
So according to this guy, Jason Fry, it was in fact the other way around. So Rey had learned that the Force was not her instrument, that she was in fact the Force's instrument.
So that means she's going to turn into pretty much Luke, because Luke just sort of went, oh, this is all bullshit. I have no control. I feel so disappointed in my life. Like she was feeling guilty apparently also before. So it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna she's gonna be reclusive and just give up on everything. Because
I guess so.
why bother? Everything's deterministic, right? The Force controls everything. Why would you do anything?
Yeah, what's Freddie Prinze Jr. said that it doesn't really matter your skill or anything like that. You just win.
Exactly. It's all balance, and you have no control. It's just the Force wants you to do it; it'll happen. No skill, no training, no backstory, no motivation, no plot, no lineage, no great masters, no amazing fighting skills. Nothing. No, just the Force will do it.
Yeah, there's no control. There's no reason to anything. It's just if the Force needs to be balanced, then the Force will balance itself. No one needs to be trained or anything like that.
Yeah,
It'll just happen.
This is pretty much a non sequitur as far as her argument goes with whatever, because she's just throwing this out there like, "Hey, this guy said something about the Force," and you're like, "You haven't talked about the Force at all, lady."
And what about the heroine's journey? What part are we at still? Is this still the descent?
Yeah, is this the goddess? Is this like where the goddess gives you power or teaches you right from wrong, or there's some moral or ethic? Which we can actually look to the original hero's journey, because there's a goddess there as well. But she's not using that term, and she's not referencing that step.
Yeah, we need some references here. Where are we on the heroine's journey at this point in the movie?
2 descents, and that's it. We're still descending.
Two wombs and two descents, and 1 birth canal.
Ugh.
That's what we have so far. We don't. The last thing we have is descent. I thought we were going into yearning to reconnect with the feminine, but apparently not. So I don't know where we are now.
Okay, we're almost done, guys. Let's keep going.
Rey has connected with the cosmic force.
No, she hasn't.
More on that later.
No.
Next, we have Crate. On Crate, there are 3 womb symbols.
There's 6 wombs. Holy crap. If this is not feminist, I don't know what is. Can you talk about your vagina a bit more, please? I'm not sold on this being completely female enough. Jesus.
Three more wombs. You get 1. Okay, I'm allowing you 1.
What
1 womb per movie.
She has the balls to tell me this has nothing to do with feminism.
What? There's 5 or 6 wombs in this movie, apparently. What is happening? What is happening?
What is going on?
Could you stop talking about wombs and stuff for 2 minutes and tell me where we are on the heroine's journey? This is bothering me. Where are we? Where are we on the heroine's journey here? Okay, you're supposed to be explaining this to me. Where are we on the heroine's journey? Just stop talking about wombs for 5 minutes and just tell me where we are on the heroine's journey. Okay.
But here we go. There's going to be some amazing symbolism with the salt representing menstruation and who the hell knows.
I'm trying to understand the heroine's journey, but she's not explaining it to me at all.
I gotta wipe my eyes down again, guys. I'm sorry.
There's 40 different wombs in this movie or something.
Oh god.
The 1 birth canal.
All right. Here we go. Womb number 4.
It's like the Oprah of womb symbolism.
This is she has even better. Honestly, she has a Mary Sue video too, so we'll probably do that one next. But we had to do this one just because.
The resistance is in that mine. Push through.
But only one of these is integral to Rey's heroine's journey.
Oh, so there's so many wombs, but there's only one of them which is integral.
So we put on all these wombs, but I guess they're red herring wombs.
There's only one.
There's only one actual womb you're supposed to be paying attention to.
As you enter this room, this is actually a womb, but it's not the womb that she needs to continue on her journey. So this is a red herring womb. The next womb, that's also a red herring, but the third womb, that's where the real deal is.
This is the 5th or 6th womb. The other 2 wombs he actually went through. Then on this one little planet, there are 3 other wombs, but 2 of those are like they're distractions. They're not actually.
Yeah, and she did a split. If you saw, she did a split screen of the beam and whatever plowing into the ground in the explosion. So it's like, what was that representing? I don't know. Was someone punching someone's womb? Like what was? Were blood vessels breaking? I don't like. What's going? Like imagine that the salt wasn't actually red. It was like, I don't know, green. Like, would that still be a womb then?
5 or 6 wombs in this movie. Okay, not everything is a womb. Okay,
Shit.
let's cut back on calling things wombs.
No, there has to be a vagina here somewhere. So there's gonna be with all these wombs. You gotta have at least one vagina running around. Right?
It was in the tree.
Yeah, but that's on a whole other planet, and she has to go back and connect the
The
symbolism.
tree was also a womb, though. The tree was also a womb.
Ray's metaphorical children, the Resistance, are trapped inside of a cave, yes.
Wow.
Metaphorical children.
Okay. I mean, I can see where you're going with that because they're people.
So is this yearning to reconnect with the feminine?
This would be it. This would be the clearest example. If you think the rebels are children and Ray's the mommy, bravo, you've made some sense. Even though it makes no goddamn understanding just by looking at it. If you want to think Ray's a mommy, you can do it. I allow this symbolism to work because that's the best we've got.
Ray is Leia's mom, confirmed. Because if this isn't yearning to reconnect with the feminine, then I think she might have forgotten that she's supposed to be talking about the hero's journey. The heroine's journey.
Well, if she starts talking about sperm and
kind of slipped her mind.
I'll be like, okay, this is too much for me.
Another womb. In freeing them, she essentially becomes their mother.
Okay, she's a mommy. Yay.
Everything is a womb. Everything is a womb.
Moving rocks is actually her giving birth to her children, guys. It's like a C-section, but with rocks. Just so if you don't understand that, that's what's really happening. Is the power of the force is it's doing something, and then birth, right? That's how this works.
So tell me how this is yearning to reconnect with the feminine, or reconnecting, bridging the gap between mother and daughter. I think was what it was called. Healing the mother and daughter split. Is that this? That we're reconnecting with the feminine, or is it healing the wounded masculine? We only have one more step after that, which is integration of masculine and feminine. So which one is it?
Whoa, that's gonna be that's like too much because you got like
there might be too many wombs. We have too many wombs here.
You got wombs. You got a penis running around. Like, whoa, wait a second. Whoa, that's not for the kids. That's you can't show that on screen. So
like even she thought it was getting absurd. Like, oh yes, another womb.
Now there's a 7th. It's a hidden womb, but it's not really.
Hidden womb. You have to go through the level again, and you have to find all the secret coins, and then you unlock the secret womb.
The secret womb. Yeah. Ray's playing a game of life with her vagina. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Fully embracing her feminine role. Obviously.
Because of course.
Okay, is this her? Okay, so this is her trying to sloppily connect this to yearning to reconnect with the feminine, I guess.
Pretty much.
Okay, so this is reconnecting with the feminine, even though it's not really a yearning. It's more of I'm going to rescue my friends.
I'm yearning to rescue my friends who happen to be my children, and I'm giving birth to them.
It's not specifically feminine. It's more like a human thing to do. Like men can do that too, have that yearning too. So this is not a specific yearning to reconnect with the feminine.
I guess you could apply the heroine's journey to male protagonists, I guess.
But they're not reconnecting with the feminine. This is not reconnecting with the feminine. This is I want to save my friends, which is something that everyone would probably want to do.
I mean, we could apply this to if we could apply the hero's journey to Star Wars and Harry Potter, I guess we could try applying the heroine's journey to those as well. I don't think it'll be interpreted the same way she thinks. Like in this room, okay, now this is a uterus, and when Harry Potter goes into the hallway, that's the fallopian tubes. and that's connected to a series of wombs.
Every room in Hogwarts is a different womb.
Every room a womb. There we go. Yeah, it's just wow. Not feminist theory, guys. Nothing to do with third wave feminism, guys. Nothing.
Well, she was right in the fact that the heroine's journey doesn't seem to be that much to do with specifically feminism, but this video definitely is.
Yeah.
This is Earth.
Oh, the four elements. Earth.
Why though?
Fire.
So this is Earth now. Okay, it was symbolizing Earth. That was symbolizing a womb / giving birth. Why the Earth symbolism here?
Yeah, because the tree, which is air, is actually floating in the air, but the boulders, which are floating in the air, are going to land on the Earth. So therefore.
This sort of Earth symbolism usually represents masculinity because the rock's kind of hard. It's like it takes strength to move it. This is more into a masculine. Now, if it were a tree or something that's more of a motherly, that would be feminine. But this is masculine. We're supposed to be reconnected with the feminine. So why would you have the symbolism of Earth being here, and why would they be rocks?
I don't know. I don't know why we did pre-Socratic elements, but we did. We just did, guys. Okay, it's just part of feminine.
Just put it in here. Just put it in there.
You could have threw in germ theory. This is the bacteria.
I mean, they just threw in a bunch of random symbols in that throne room fight. And she asked me, everything's a womb. Throne womb fight. So yeah, I guess it would be a throne womb fight.
Throne womb.
Apparently they threw in like every symbol under the sun during that fight. So
yeah, the lightsabers are phallic, and the rocks are their sperm, and this is a womb. Okay, it all makes sense. It just works.
This is Rey's past, present, and future.
Whoa.
How?
That is
a bunch of floating rocks is her past, present, future, and it's Earth, and it's birth, and it's a womb.
Whoa, that is like
it's a lot of info for a bunch of rocks.
That is a lot of rocks representing a lot of different things. I think the rocks should be labeled. Like this one's Earth.
This one's future.
The future rock.
Give us something. Give us something. You're just giving us random. Okay, there's a bunch of symbols here, and you're making it seem like it's deep or profound. You're just symbols. They don't mean anything. How are these part of reconnecting with the feminine? A yearning to reconnect with the feminine specifically.
Never mind. We have only 10 minutes left in the film, or 5 minutes left in the film, to then reconcile the masculine. So God knows what that's going to represent.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rey going up the ramp to the Millennium Falcon is the male entering the womb.
But which womb? Several of them.
Don't ask. I have no idea. I can't stop crying. I'm sorry, guys. This is so bad. I got to write her an essay tomorrow just to say I'm so sorry. I fully believe everything you say. Can we please have you on the stream? just to hear whatever the hell this is about. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm just crying over here because this took a really dark turn in my brain. I was okay with one symbolism per scene, but now it's like 5. Okay.
It's even seen every rock is its own little symbol apparently. So it's past, future, present, Earth, birth, and womb. You have to narrow this down, okay? You can't have one thing symbolize everything.
This is just, and this is not even her best one. Wait till she does the Mary Sue. Oh my God, we're gonna do the Mary Sue one next. Yeah. All right, we got 2 minutes left, guys. We can do this.
Let's power through it.
Yeah.
And is essentially everything Rey is looking for. But
she's looking for
rocks?
But now it symbolizes family.
So okay, so this is family now.
Okay, so it's Earth, it's a womb, it's past, present, future, and it's family. You got that, guys? I gotta start writing this down because this is getting really deep.
Come on.
Jesus.
This is family. Okay, it's family now. So it's reconnecting with the point earlier made that she's yearning to look for something, a sense of belonging, which anyone can have. You don't have to be a woman to want to belong somewhere. That's why people join. That's why men join the military, for example.
And didn't she hug Finn in the last movie a lot?
Probably. There's a lot of hugging in these movies. It's kind
Yeah,
of
so
disgusting.
she was never like she never lost Finn. She just was away from Finn. And the whole point was that Finn had the transponder or whatever that she knew where to go. So she always had Finn.
I want Finn to be the main character of the series so badly. He's a much better character than
Well,
Ray.
he's much more interesting because Ray is just a wrecking ball, and you're like, okay, thanks, Ray.
Ray is such a terrible character. We need a 11-minute video on YouTube telling us all the symbols so that she can be awesome. Because normal people can't tell for themselves. Finn is a lot more up in front about how likable he is, and he's probably the most likable character in the Disney Star Wars. That's not saying much, but it's probably true. Other than Woody Harrelson, I would say Woody Harrelson is probably the most likable character.
Yeah, but you're biased to Woody Harrelson, so it doesn't really.
Oh yeah, I'm
Well,
very
Woody
biased
Harrelson, guys.
towards Woody Harrelson. So I would put Finn second, but Woody Harrelson would be the first. But Finn by himself is probably the most interesting in the Disney Star Wars.
He probably should have. I admit, when I saw the first The Force Awakens trailer, I thought Finn would have been the main character. When as soon as we saw his head pop up, you're like, whoa, Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, we got a stormtrooper being the
Awesome.
main character.
Yeah.
So, and he's a child soldier. Should have been really cool, really good at fighting. He has so much stuff they could have built off of. Ray, however, has nothing because of Mr. Captain Mystery Box.
And you know what? It would have been fine if Ray was a secondary character doing all these amazing things because the focus wouldn't be about her. It's like, oh my, Ray's doing this amazing thing, but we see it all from Finn's perspective. And
Yeah,
Finn
that'd be cool.
And Finn would be like, "What's going on? The Force is real, Ray. What the hell?" And it's like, "I gotta go do something. Sorry, bye." And he's like wondering about her. Is like, "Is she my friend? Is she doing her own thing?" While he's like trying to get the hell out of there, trying to figure out where he belongs.
Luke had that too. Luke had Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was doing all the cool stuff. He was a pimp. He walked into the bar and cut off some guy's arm. He was very confident. He knew what he was doing. So it would be perfectly fine for Ray to be that for Finn, kind of a mentor type.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more interesting because he would learn from Poe, he would learn from Ray, he would learn from whomever, and this was his constant learning of like, hey, there's more to life than being a janitor for the First Order or whatever the First Order wanted.
Yeah, because he's the perfect person to be the main character because he knows nothing. He was just he was isolated for pretty much all of his life, and.
Right.
He could be that character that usually have the know-nothing character, like the Luke kind of character, the person that knows nothing, so everything has to be explained to him. Mm-hmm. And when he explains to him, the audience is explained to also.
Right, whereas Ray is just ignorant in general of everything, yet she knows how to control everything when it needs to be controlled. So
she's just awesome.
Yeah.
That's her only explanation for everything. She's just awesome.
All right, so family. Here we go. Number 6.
And back to the wombs.
Yeah.
She is not complete yet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she remembers. We're back. She remembers she's doing a video on the heroine's journey.
Right.
Okay.
So she's not complete. So
where are we now? Tell me where we are.
I have no idea. Let's find out.
She still has more steps to complete on her heroine's journey. However,
yes, she does.
But you know what? As we understand, remember the guide is just a guide. It's not a step-by-step process. So the chances of this particular movie hitting each of these steps was already proved false because there was 2 fall into whatever. So as we've said with Ewan Campbell, you can mix and match some of these, but it's a guide. It's not a blueprint. It's not like it has to follow them. Except obviously some of them have to be followed. Like as I said, the inciting incident has to come at the beginning. You can't have it in the middle. That's stupid.
You can't have an inciting incident in the middle.
Yeah, it's like half an hour of nothing, like boo, and then boom,
Right. The beginning is in the middle.
Yeah. So
you know where we're going now. Where are we at?
Yeah,
Tell me where we're at.
let's find
okay.
Point she has met with the goddess, which is herself and the cosmic force.
She is the goddess?
Yes, she's the goddess, and yes, we do know she's met the goddess because there's two descents. Okay, that's the descent. The descent to the goddess. That's the part where she meets the goddess. She spent an entire video on this thing.
So wait, let me get this straight. She is the god. She's the power. There's no super.
She is the goddess. She's the goddess.
Jesus. So she's basically saying she's a Mary Sue.
Did you see that in a Mary Sue video? That would make sense.
I haven't watched it yet, but we'll get there. But she's essentially saying, "Hey, Ray's a Mary Sue." It's like, oh dear. That's not a good thing to say in a pattern in storytelling. It's like, hey, she becomes a Mary Sue. It's like, oh,
Yeah, so the natural progression of the heroine's journey is that she becomes a Mary Sue.
yeah. It's like, what? I mean, that would make sense with feminism, but not what you want to have for a serious understanding of a pattern in historical interpretations of mythology. So, not a good sign, but again, we're talking about The Last Jedi here, right? So, why we don't get Rey? She's a Mary Sue. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Back to the force. There are two parts of the force, the cosmic force and the living force.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know this. Is this true? I thought there was light and dark. That was it.
Huh.
All right.
I thought it was light and dark too. I didn't know about this other stuff.
Yeah, let's find out. Okay, here we
We
go.
have to make up new stuff so that this
Yeah.
argument can fit.
Let's invent lore so we
It's always a good sign.
yeah. Headcanon for the win. All right.
The Mortis arc shows us that the father is the
Oh my god, she knows there's goddesses and gods in Rebels. So
Why don't we bring in rebels? We're talking about the Last Jedi.
I know this is legend, so it's no longer part of the canon. So
Although it's kind of cheating. You can't bring in this stuff that's isolated in another series altogether to explain something in Last Jedi.
yeah, so there's actually gods and goddesses in Rebels, and as well as Rey being a goddess herself. That's amazing. It's just like, yeah, there are actual gods and goddesses, and then by the way, Rey's a goddess. It's like, oh.
So by the time she comes out of the descent, she's a Mary Sue. That's where this is going.
She hits rock bottom, and all of a sudden she's at the top of the galaxy. Like, how does that even happen?
Kind of how it is what happened. She went to the descent, and now suddenly she can lift entire mountains worth of rocks
Yeah.
easily, with no sweat.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of does it.
embodiment of the living force, the connection between all things. The daughter and the son are embodiments of light and dark. The mother has no physical form because she is everywhere. The mother is the cosmic force.
Okay.
The cosmic force has a purpose and a will.
Who is Jason Fry again? I'm forgetting this.
He's probably the author of the novelization of The Last Jedi.
Okay. All right. So he's basically they hired to, hey, can you make this into a book? Like, okay.
Can you fix this mess we made?
Well, I wouldn't even go that far because you pretty much have to follow the scenes and put them into words. So you could add descriptions, you could add some detail, but you can't change what's there. At least to any extent that changes the events of the story. So
And yeah, in either way, this is supposed to be about the movie The Last Jedi. I'm not really sure bringing in the novelization would be fair. And definitely not bringing in Clone Wars or Rebels or whatever that is to explain something in The Last Jedi, to explain Rey's journey in The Last Jedi as the heroine's journey.
yeah, so using tertiary sources to explain the cosmic aspects or metaphysical aspects or, I don't know, supernatural aspects of the original story, not a good sign of good storytelling, guys.
Yeah, it should be all contained. If you're talking about the heroine's journey or some sort of journey, it's supposed to be contained in the work.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a several book comic series or something. But this is the movie.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be
especially
in the movie.
when you're trying to use some sort of guide and describe someone as a Mary Sue and go, okay, by the way, in this part of the EU, this happens, which is also like this. And you're like, thank you? Am I supposed to know this?
You could use tertiary sources if you're talking specifically about someone's character. Maybe they appear
Right.
in Rebels. Maybe they appear somewhere else. But you're talking about the formula and the journey. It's supposed to be self-contained in the movie.
Yeah, you can't just start using it to back up a point unless it's also in the primary. So it's kind of pointless to do this unless you're talking about the character in general, not as a guidebook feminine thing.
Yeah, because I barely watched The Last Jedi. I'm definitely not going to go read the book.
Right.
Okay. The movie was bad enough.
Yeah, I don't want to read through a bad story, so sorry. Whew.
When Rey connects to the cosmic force and decides to allow it to use her,
How does she connect with the
okay.
cosmic
I think-
force?
I think I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to force the step 8. She's trying to the healing with the mother and daughter split.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
She's trying to paint the force as the mother figure
Yeah.
somehow, even though it's a neutral thing. I don't know. Well, she's trying to make the force the mother figure so that she can force step 8 to happen.
Because she's already the goddess, but she's not necessarily the mother. And then she has to either connect or become the mother, or let's say Leia is the mother. Like there has to be some other mother figure, right?
If there was, she was trying to argue the reconnection between Leia and Rey, then that would work a lot better. But she's trying to do the Force as the mother.
Yeah, and if Rey turns out to be the mom, oh my god, this is just Rey is the mom and the goddess and the seductress and it's like okay, yeah, all right, she's everything. We get it. She's Mary Sue. Thank you.
Like, can you at least give us something that's not so out there? Because I would buy this a lot better if you said if you placed Leia in place of the mother, reconnecting, because she could be her symbolic mother.
Right,
If
but
you-
that would be fine because if you're using symbolism to explain all these things anyway,
yeah,
at least with her, it's like, oh, she is a mother.
it's a symbol that makes sense.
Yeah, it's obvious, right? It's like, oh yeah, she's in charge. She's the mom. Boom, gotcha.
We have to do this weird dance around trying to force us to believe the Force is now female.
Yeah, no.
And just so you can force this step to work. Okay, you can do this a lot better with Leia.
Well, that would have been fine, but again, Leia has not even been mentioned, I think,
No,
which is the most
I think,
obvious mother
she
figure.
might have forgotten about Leia. In fact, she hasn't even been mentioned.
I know. Yeah, it's weird.
she is connecting with the mother of the universe. This is why her spiritual journey is so important. She must face her femininity. She must go on her heroine's journey in order to fulfill the destiny that is set out for her.
Wait.
How?
We got to the end of the journey. What are you talking about?
Face her femininity. Where?
Where is her femininity?
The best thing you came up with in this video was that she lifted a bunch of rocks to get people out of a cave.
Well, the one that got me weird was the sexuality of the moose. That was like, what? I don't know. Whenever I think of lactation, I don't think, ooh, that's sexy. Especially alien sea mooses, but that's just me.
Excreting blue milk.
Maybe to women that's sexy. I don't know. Maybe it's a feminine thing, right? At least it wasn't a goddamn womb, right? Because you can't have
Another womb.
yeah, another womb.
You've overtaxed your womb symbolism for this video.
I think the womb card has been played a bit too many times.
She was created by the Force.
How do you know this? Please tell us. How do you know this?
Well, they very made up lore, so I mean, might as well make up more stuff.
This happened because I said so. Oh, really?
It happens because it's narratively correct.
Beep boo. Okay.
And now she is an instrument of it. We have seen what happens when someone who was created by the Force ends up trying to use the Force.
Okay, wait a second. Anakin, yes, was Immaculate Conception. We get it. Rey is not. Rey had
where's the
parents.
evidence that Rey has
had
parents? They have not
Two.
explained any of this.
Male and female. This we know.
At least with Anakin, they explain that he had a unusual birth from movie 1. From movie 3, they've explained nothing to suit this.
So she's making this weird connection to Anakin because she believes that Rey suddenly has this cosmic connection to the Force, which I don't know where she got that, and that she was divinely created by the Force, even
She's
though
using fan theory. She's using fan theory to help
she's
explain
really
this.
trying to explain this bullshit theory to say that this is how the story works. And you're like, no, this you literally told us she went to the dark side cave thing to find her parents. Parents, two, one and two, more than one, plural. Not one parent, one woman with a womb, and the Force acting as whatever, as father figure. So sorry, you're contradicting yourself.
For their own selfish reasons.
All I want is your love.
Love won't save you, Padme. Only my new powers can do that.
Rey's story is a correction of that.
No, it's not. There is nothing related to Anakin and Rey. She is not correcting. She is not trying to solve the sins of the father or whatever. They have no relationship. None.
And even if she was, just prove to me that because this has to be blatant for this to work. Okay, this has to be a fact and written into the stone of the writing. Yeah, I need to know that this is true because from all we know, this is conjecture. This is just fan theory. This is going on, and you're using this as solid, absolute fact to prove your argument that this is the heroine's journey.
Yeah, first she went from symbolism, then she jumped back into the heroine's journey, and made a bunch of ridiculous, I don't know, other symbols that connected to whatever.
You ever stretch this much to prove it? It's probably not true.
Then she started using Clone Wars. I think people were telling me in the chat.
Clone Wars. I think it was Clone Wars. They said.
And now it's the prequels. And you're like, no, you can't. No. It's not how you argue.
Yeah, it's not how this formula kind of formula works.
The guide for heroes or heroine's journey works within one story, and it's a singular piece of work. It is not some weird kaleidoscope. Oh, this is from the comic, and this is from the novelization. This is from the first. Like, no, sorry.
That's how it actually worked. And this is a bad movie.
Really?
So he's proving to us. If she has to go to tertiary sources, she's proving to us that the Last Jedi.
This isn't even a tertiary source. It's a fan theory.
Okay, she's using tertiary sources and fan theories to explain this absurd nonsense.
It's pathetic. It's like, dear, someone just should talk to you before you make these videos.
In order to balance the Force, it is essential for Rey to allow the Force to use her.
No, it's not. She doesn't know this, and this is not even her plot. She doesn't care about balance. There's no mention of balance, aside from when she was feeling the Force in all things. And she says balance. That's it. It's not some cosmic thing she needs to do now. She feels it. That's it.
It's all about the feels.
And that Force is the mother.
Whoa. That Force is the mother. Also notice how Rey's hair comes down and stays down from the cave scene onward. Okay, why is that relevant? Again, Rey's in what?
Embracing her feminine as well as letting go of other childlike. No, because if that should have been a conscious choice. Okay, you don't get to claim that when it's something that just kind of we don't really get to see that happening, or she doesn't do that on her own.
Her hair is a symbol for her femininity. Are you serious?
I mean, look, if you go to Mulan, right? If you go to the Disney's Mulan, there was a whole thing about her cutting her own hair, which symbolizes her casting off her old life and going into the life of a soldier. But
sure, yeah.
You need if you're going to make this argument, you have to have a scene like that. Okay, there has to be a scene where Rey consciously lets down her hair and we focus on it.
But that's a cultural thing that's understood, that for her to fit into the army, she has to look like a male. Yeah. And that's how males would cut. I assume that's how males cut their hair. With this, I don't know, maybe one of her braids fell apart when she was fighting. I think.
Maybe it had to be if this is going to be a legitimate symbol of her embracing her feminine and letting go of her childlike self, whatever that means. She has to have done this consciously, and it has to be overtly enough that we see it. Otherwise, the symbol is meaningless. We don't get to appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree with you. But when I was reading some of the heroine's journey, they take the feminine as a passive role, even though it's the protagonist. So you technically can have a passive protagonist, but Rey is. I mean, you could argue Rey could be a passive protagonist because she just
Kind of
goes
gets
along.
dragged everywhere. Yeah, she kind of gets dragged everywhere, yanked from
Yeah,
one place to
so in that regard, things happen to her. She doesn't cause things to happen, but in this case, she is actually causing the event of saving her friends. So, yeah, in some cases she's passive, but not in this scene. So you can't just say, "Oh, look at her hair, it's down. She's more feminine." Well, okay, I guess. It's really not that clear that that's what that represents. I thought it was down because it's down, not because it means anything.
Basically, for all these to be legitimate symbols, it has to be done by a writer who didn't know what they were doing, which would be a pretty good argument, actually.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson was just like
That's actually what happened.
slapshod. Just ran roughshod over everything. Hey,
So
symbolism.
Ryan Johnson can't write a movie or a story, but what he can do is slap symbolism everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and not mention it, not talk about it, not have any notes, not tell anyone.
Put it in there and just never mention it ever
Never
again.
mention it. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's it's female. It's it's hair. Means she's feminine, guys." Okay.
At least her hair's not another womb. At least there's that.
Oh god.
So this story is one of feminine spirituality.
Therefore, because her hair is
Moron.
down, therefore this story is about feminine spirituality. Are you on drugs, lady? This is the heroine's journey, not the I'm on crack journey. You read heroine wrong. Heroine as in female hero, not heroin as in the stuff I inject my veins with. Jesus. What kind of a conclusion was that? Therefore,
Is that the conclusion?
That's the conclusion.
That's it. Oh,
Well,
no.
I'm sure there's more, but that's where she comes. It's like, it's a spiritual journey.
Spiritual journey. Yeah.
Because I see wombs in rooms. And past, present, and future in a bunch of frickin' rocks.
Wombs within wombs.
Are you? This is the dumbest video we've ever seen. I have to say that. We've seen some dumb videos, but this is like projection, fan theory, using a feminist theory, which isn't a feminist theory.
I'm sorry to say, but this is pretty dumb.
This. I'm so sorry you guys have to sit through this, but we were just like, this is the strangest thing we've seen.
I'm really trying to understand it too. What you're trying to
Yeah.
explain this to me, and I'll understand and agree. But so far, no, just no.
This is okay. All right, we got 1 minute left. Here we go.
Air, water, fire, earth,
Yes.
future, past,
I get it.
present, fulfillment,
Okay.
light, dark,
Okay.
balance external,
No.
balance internal.
No.
Now, it's Ben's turn.
What?
Okay, those were not steps to the heroine's journey.
That was just random crap you just said. Like, this is this. Like, no.
Okay, I guess. I mean, symbolically, you could say they were anything, but more importantly, you just went over a bunch of steps, but none of those things
Yeah.
are part of the heroine's journey. We didn't have the separation from the feminine. If this is a video about the heroine's journey, you should have shown us scenes within the movie.
Yeah.
1, separation from the feminine. 2, identification with the masculine. 3, road of trials. 4, illusory boon of success.
Right.
5, feelings of and so on and so forth.
I remember the director. I don't know if you guys remember Quantum of Solace. It was a James Bond film. And the director specifically made those 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water, in 4 scenes. Like, that was his big thing, right? Quantum of Solace was a very poorly shot film, okay? But you could have those scenes in a movie, and guess what they represent? Goddamn nothing. He wanted those in the movie just for the sake of having them in the movie.
Because they're cool.
Because he wanted them in the movie. The same way Ryan Johnson wanted a bunch of crap in his movie. Why?
Because he's Ryan Johnson.
Because he wanted it. Why did he want a World War II bomber scene? Because he wanted it. That's it. There's no reason behind it. There's no logic. There's no lore. He invented lore. Hey, I'll make a flying fortress that's slow as hell, has no defenses, has 6 gun turrets that don't work, and have 1,024 bombs that can obliterate, if they were actual missiles, can obliterate an entire fleet of Star Destroyers, but we'll just use it on one thing. Just because Rian Johnson wanted it. There's a greater chance of Rian Johnson being a guy who just wanted to do what he wanted to do than all the bullshit you just heard. Okay? Just by process of elimination and Occam's razor, okay? It's that simple. If you want to interpret this story as a bunch of feminists, whatever, great. More power to you. Enjoy it. It's great. But keep it to yourself. Because we're going to look at you like you're insane. Like
That part is true.
if you seriously think this, you're insane. Like there's no other way to interpret this. You are in cloud 9 thinking you're so smart and patting yourself on the back going, "Oh, this symbolism means this, and as you can see, it's like this is a vagina." It's like, "No."
6 wombs and all this kinds of stuff.
And
Symbolic, metaphorical
and
children.
I can bet you any money there's no way, not even 5% of the stuff Rian Johnson was coming up with. No way.
Especially not Ryan Johnson.
No. I'm not downplaying Rian Johnson. He's a smart guy, though. He's not stupid. But he's not symbolic, intelligent, crazy, meta, sexual female journey crap. He's not. There's no way.
Ben's turn.
Hey, Ben. What you got there, buddy?
Thanks to those who
Is
stuck
healing
with
the
me
wounded
throughout.
masculine? No, I guess not.
I guess he goes through a hero's journey the last 20 seconds of the goddamn film.
I guess maybe she's hoping that the third film will be his journey or something.
Oh, God.
But I don't think we finished. The last part's supposed to be the integration of masculine and feminine. Did she do
Yeah.
that, or is it going to be? Might be in the third movie, I guess.
The
I guess,
entirety of
yeah.
this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I love Rey's journey in The Last Jedi, and I love that we still only know a small part of it.
Oh, so it's never finished?
You love the journey that you invented. I know that much.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this never happened, but I interpret it as awesome. It's like, yeah, you're crazy. You're literally
put it like this.
inventing stuff in your brain that isn't there.
All you gotta do is look at it this way and invent lore, drag in some fan theories, slap in some from some tertiary sources, and it's a perfectly fine journey. You know?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, that was a lot of crazy, and I got to get up in the morning, so I have to say goodnight. But wow, we're gonna do the next one. I don't know, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday if we have time. And it's about Mary Sue's, same author. And geez, another Mary Sue video, man. I mean, it always comes back to Mary Sue's.
It always comes back to Mary, especially with Rey, because she is one.
She is the ultimate. She's the penultimate. I mean, you go through all the Mary Sue's from, geez, Star Trek, other science fiction. It's like,
She's more of a Mary Sue than Lieutenant Mary Sue was a
yeah,
Mary Sue.
she is the definition of Mary Sue-ness. So we'll figure out a time and place. Hopefully everything will be great. And thanks for chilling. We'll see you soon. Have a great day, guys.